Okay, so let me share the screen then here, and so here's the time lapse that I just sent the link to. I'm not going to go through this in any detail. I think this is just more impressionistic, okay? But we wanted to create a time lapse of how Berkeley has evolved. Most any great research university has evolved a lot. I'm thinking about innovation and entrepreneurship per se, okay? I'm defining innovation here as two things: new ideas put into practice. New ideas put into practice. Invention and discovery are not innovation. They are not put into practice, right? So those two things together make innovation. Entrepreneurship is effectively one of the ways that we as a society put things into practice, but it's not the only way. All right, those are sort of the operating definitions. Okay, so let me go through these real quickly. In the year 2000, again, impressionistic. How you define an ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship at a university. People could disagree on the categories, but the categories are the rows here, and we had various things in the year 2000. I keep telling our students 2000 wasn't that long ago. They don't buy it. Many of them weren't alive. But anyways, here's '05. Here's 2010. There's 2015. Boom, 2020. It's actually today. We're adding an icon to this every couple of weeks, it seems. So again, impressionistically, it's like an explosion of capacity. New degree programs, accelerators, incubators, new funds that are specifically tied to UC Berkeley and have an affiliation with UC Berkeley. Things coming out of the law school, engineering, our College of Natural Resources. Anyways, it goes on and on. So I'm going to stop that share. But here's my recommendation to you. Whatever university you're partnering with, and I hope you're partnering with a university or two, or maybe more, you might ask them that question. What is the picture of the current constellation of your ecosystem? Most universities have that. Not everyone will have created a time lapse so that you can see the delta, but navigation is critical, and that document does help people navigate a bit at Berkeley. So that's document number one. Here's a second document that I'm going to put this in the chat as well. And then I'm just gonna, so you have it, okay? So here, right there, that is what we call our platforms vision at UC Berkeley. So I'll share screen and pop that up. What's going on? Well, like for many of you, it's like in a role like the one that I have, it's like no more one-offs, no more one-offs. It's like, let's build platforms. Let's build a foundation for scalable, repeatable, efficient outcomes. Berkeley, as most great research universities, it kind of thrives on decentralization, right? The autonomy, the distributed creativity, or as some people call it, the federated chaos of a University of California at Berkeley. But ultimately, we want to pull those distributed successes together and build platforms out of them. Not just by marketing this, oh, look at these things together, it's a platform. It's sort of like, no, what makes it a real platform? How have you linked them and sort of raised the game? And so this is our platforms vision at UC Berkeley. The link is on the web. Obviously, that's the link I just gave you. I'm not going to walk you through all 9 of these platforms, but this, not everybody uses the phrase platforms. It's more of an engineering term than a business term, effectively. But you hear a lot, all of us hear a lot about platform companies, platform technology. So this is some of what we're doing. I'm just going to talk about the very first one, and then I'm going to make one more comment, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, so I don't have so much more to present here. But by the way, this document, you can see the blue spots are click-through links, right? So like that first one, I'll talk about that one, scientific instrument sharing. It's not first for any particular reason, but there's an FAQ, a frequently asked questions document, that's on the other side of that link. So you can click through and find out a lot more about these platforms if you're interested. All right. The first one, scientific instrument sharing. Here's the idea. Imagine I'm pitching you for capital. Here's my pitch. The share economy. I'm an economist. We've all heard about the share economy. Underutilization. We've got Uber, we've got Lyft, we've got Airbnb. Got it. What is the percentage capacity utilization of scientific instruments at Berkeley? How about on a Sunday? Mobile app. I'm a small company, a startup. I don't even need to be in the San Francisco Bay Area. I need a mass spectrometer. I need a DNA sequencer. I need some very expensive machine that I don't own. There's one available on a Sunday afternoon at Berkeley. Fully priced, DocuSign click-through contract. That's what makes it a platform. We have over 20 of our labs on this platform. It's up and running. What does it do? In a sentence, it AWSizes scientific instruments at Berkeley. Ooh, interesting, right? AWS obviously isn't the only player in that market, but we all understand that 25 years ago, you started a computer service company. You needed to go out and raise capital for a server. That's a ridiculous idea today, right? The market has transformed a very large fixed cost into a variable cost. And that's effectively what we'd like to do with scientific instruments at Berkeley. Now, every university does a little of this. So when a university says, oh yeah, we do that, it's sort of like, yeah, and MP3s existed when Apple created the iTunes store. Like, that's not a platform. Make a platform out of it. Okay, so I think there's some other things on this list that will interest you. The universities are doing some of these things. Others, I think some of these ideas are going to disseminate rather naturally. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing there. And then the last thing that I want to put on here, I'm going to pull one more. This is my last comment, I promise. This is so Berkeley won, Professor Jennifer Doudna in particular, co-won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry a couple of years ago for gene editing, for CRISPR. We've all been hearing about CRISPR, platform technologies is transforming so many different areas. Now, in the chat, if you go to this link, and again, you don't have to go to that link now, I will go there as I share my screen. But you might ask yourself, so what the heck is Jennifer Doudna's lab doing today? Well, that lab at Berkeley is called the Innovative Genomics Institute, or IGI, as we fondly call it. And this is the front page of their website. Nothing so surprising there. But this is the link to climate adaptation, right? I haven't said so much specifically about climate. I've talked more about how you can partner more valuably with universities. That's effectively what I've been talking about. But if you look here at research, human health, no surprise, CRISPR, climate and sustainable agriculture, it's the second bullet that they have under research. They're working on CRISPR-based technologies for carbon capture in soils, for carbon capture in plants, for many, many other things. And so the idea that, CRISPR, yeah, that's a therapeutics, that's a public health thing. What do you got that's climate adaptation related? It's sort of like, actually, CRISPR is fundamentally climate adaptation related when you start digging into it. So dig into it. And that's just one example of how many ways great research universities are touching with their technology and research on climate adaptation. Okay, so those are my comments. Ask universities, what does your ecosystem look like? Help me navigate it. Doesn't have to be a time lapse, but push on them. And then the idea of sort of platforms, what are these receptor sites that you have at universities, and how can universities get better at them? That's that platforms vision, if you will. And then looking for climate adaptation in places you might not have seen it in universities. So I'll stop there. Again, Che, I appreciate the invitation. I don't think we have time for any questions, but I'd be happy to take a couple.